A lot. But mostly my daughter.
I love my family, I love my children, I love all the people around me that bring positive energy into my life.
My other half, my partner, my 2 sons, my daughter, and of course my dog.
I love people.
Having been down to real depths with my mental health and addiction issues, I love the fact that I can live today without putting any drugs or alcohol in my body and make the most of the things that I love.
Cool, that's a good question.
I thought about this question quite a lot.
When my life was hardest, the emotional needs that were least well met were probably the most basic. So I think my sleep, my health, for myself, movement.
I think self-pity to a degree and feeling heard, regardless of having any cure to my situation at the time, just being heard.
It was connection. It was the thing that was met the least, because I had this alcohol and drug addiction going on in the background, and that meant I couldn't be fully honest with anyone. So whilst I had a partner who I was with, and I had children, and I was working in the school, and I had friends around me, I spent my whole time trying very hard to hide how ill I was, which meant that I had no connection or no meaningful connection with anyone at all, because everything was geared towards hiding my illness to some degree from people. I had no sense of status because I'd lost my job. I had no sense of meaning and purpose. I had nothing really. My only meaning and purpose was to kind of hide how ill I was and to drown my sorrows. So I'd say connection was the reason that things really got absolutely out of control, and that was something that bringing those back made a huge difference.
I took myself off, left my dog at home, left my phone at home, and it was by chance my son rang my brother to ask where I was, and he said, well, we don't know where I'd look for him. He's gone off. He said, there's only one place I know Dad will go. He came down there and rang my brother. He said, Dad's car's here. And I was met there by the police and my brothers. And yes, so rode with me. And it's just, no one would believe what I was saying, what was happening. Yes, I've got the backing of my brothers and my family. But that's when I've really been at my lowest. And if it wasn't for Southern Mind, especially Nikki, and when I've not felt too good, it's a phone call or we've met for a coffee.
To stay connected to others, I basically ensure that I keep connected. So that can be digitally, it can ideally actually at the moment be more physical. So, we're living in a post-COVID world where got very used to everything being in a virtual space and actually lost touch with what is the feeling of being. So for me, that's really important. So I ensure that whether it's just even a voice note to a friend, or I try and plan things in. And actually that's something that I find really important now more than anything is planning. I saw planning as something that was boring. And actually, it's the most productive thing ever for my well-being, because it means that things happen.
I take a walk, say hello, and just meet and greet people as you go along your day.
I think it's very important to have different villages. Having had that time, years really, decades even, of not being fully connected to anyone, I find primarily I go to a 12-step fellowship, so I find connection with people who've suffered in the same way that I've suffered. And I find that that's a very powerful connection because you can talk to somebody who's been through that, who you don't know, and there's an immediate connection there. So I've reconnected with old friends and family who I lost through my periods of substance misuse. I do parkrun every Saturday morning. I'm very involved in the storytelling community. And I feel like keeping all of those open is a really important thing for me. But particularly those times like, say, an AA meeting or park run, where I can go there on a Saturday morning or a Thursday night or whenever it is, and know that even if the people who I'm like friends with aren't there, there'll be other people with the same goals and the same kind of purpose who I can share that experience and that time with. Having those in my life, my family, I have beautiful connections with my family and friends now, but having those things in my life where I can turn out and immediately be connected to people who I don't necessarily know is so important for me.
The dog never leaves my side, so he's always around. He knows what time I go to bed, and I say, bedtime now. Off he goes into the kitchen, and I go to bed. And we go for a walk. We're out for a good hour and a half in the morning before I start work. And the guys at work, they're all a good bunch of lads. They know what I can do. They know in the morning when we walk in what kind of frame of mind I'm in. If anything's a little bit, they start and get a bit stressed out. And I'll say, can you do this? They never ever leave me on my own. So I've always got people around me, which I found has helped make sure I've got the right people around me. I'm in a gentleman's organisation club, and they all make sure I'm all right, bring me out.
What do I do to feel in control? I'm not sure if I am in control. A lot of it is reminding myself that we don't really have too much control. If you do, then you can do something about it. If you can't, let it be, and find a way to bend your head around that and accept that. Also, to appreciate that actually a lot of it is not really me. I'm just a passenger to some degree. And the small forms that I do to take control of my day is maybe if I start our day with a breathing technique, a bit of meditating, a little stretching, maybe a press out if I'm feeling lucky. But the rest of that, I sit back and enjoy the day.
I let go of control. I try to forget about the fact that there are many things I can't control, and actually embrace that. There are only things that are really, in fact, limiting. So yeah, we can control what we put in our bodies. We can control what I do with my body. I can control how I behave, but I can't control anything else. So embracing that.
I'll stand back and look at whatever is in front of me and take a few minutes to think about what's going to happen. If I'm not quite sure if it's the right way or the wrong way, I will ask the question.
I have to be very careful in separating the things that I can control with the things that I can't control. And the kind of essence of, the AA Serenity Prayer, accept the things we cannot change and the courage to change the things we can. And once I've separated those things, it's really important for me to daily, in different aspects of my life, do something that I can have control over. So I'm a storyteller, so I try and do at least half an hour a day of making sure that I'm learning something new, I'm preparing something for a performance or a day. With regards to the things that I can't control, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of practicing gratitude, really, to be able to separate myself from those things that I can't control. I used to be obsessed with global politics and various things that on the face of it would make me anxious and make me depressed and make me angry. And I had no control over any of it. And any time I spend getting embroiled in the emotional side of that, I lose my way completely. So it's about focusing on the things that I can control and doing something on a regular basis.
In order to keep calm, falls.
A long while ago, I was talking about the breathing in, close your eyes, breathe out, all that. And yeah, it was one of our assistant supervisors at work. He thought I was asleep. So I had my eyes closed doing the breathing things, and that helps a lot. And I find in a course of the week, I might have to do that twice. Today was one of them. It's that's one I highly recommend that people who get a bit anxious just sit back, chill out, and then just close your eyes and do the breathing exercises.
It depends on what time and what situations it is. If it's a mad situation and it starts off that way, you just have to remind yourself that you could be erratic and lose out quickly. Things happen, and as a result of that, it lingers. And so a moment of madness or a moment of where you lose control or emotional madness could result for everlasting damages, you know. Generally, if you start your day, like I say, I'll meditate, I'll look inwards and kind of focus on how I want our day to go. But other than that, it's just breathing technique and try to stay calm as possible.
I've learned to connect to my breath in a really simple way, but nasal breathing. So just connecting to actually the fact that I can notice the air going in and going out and really settled.
Exercise keeps me calm, so that's my time away when I have some time to myself, some privacy. So when I'm in control of something, I feel calm. If I'm out of control, I feel like I'm stressed and I'm not calm at all. So if I'm learning a new story or I'm preparing something where the goal is tangible and I know that what I'm doing will work towards making the goal happen, that keeps me calm. And at the moment, I'm training for a half marathon, which doesn't, on the face of it, sound like something that would be done to keep calm. But I know each morning that I will go out and I'll run my 10 miles or I'll run my 8 miles or whatever it is. And I'll come back and know that whatever happens during the rest of the day is not going to be as hard physically as that was. And I also do breathing exercises, and I do, it's not possible to stay calm all the time.
Always be with the dog. Makes me happy.
I do two things. One, I've got my screensaver on my phone. It's my wife. And actually just looking at that can often really help. And then two, music. So I found that listening to music at points where I might need to be lifted or I need something, I go to it.
I do feel bad. I take my daughter, man. Take my daughter for places, do things with my daughter, spend time there. That always keeps me grounded. That's how I stay content, you know. Or see family and do things you might not think you want to do or what this society shows you need to do. Like I'll go out, chase girls, drink, party and stuff. Part of that, avoiding that and go to some family, being with your loved ones, I think is nourishing.
I think when you've been through the whole kind of like suicide attempts and addiction, severe depression, you find contentment very easily, or far more easily. And I find it's the practice of gratitude that makes me feel content. Gratitude comes in practice. And as I was walking here today, I'm looking around and walking down the same streets I used to walk around when I was drunk and lonely and miserable and thinking about killing myself. And I'm seeing beauty and I'm seeing wonderful things and I'm saying hello to people. That gratitude, if I can remain grateful, I know that I will avoid falling into a really deep pit again.
What gives me meaning and purpose is a good question. I didn't feel like I had that to start with. And something that I feel I had to adopt over time, but it was actually instinctually almost like what I agreed to be as at birth. And I'm obviously having my daughter now really brings clings me into this, grabs me into this life now and gives me a good sense of purpose. But what gives me value for now in my craft would be my acting and the stories, the ethoses, the things I want to get across with that.
My kids give me the most meaning and purpose. I think a lot of people would probably say that, parents would say that. I think seeing and appreciating that they learn from me and from the example that I'm setting in a lot of places actually gives me that sense of direction more than I've ever felt it.
I believe I can create meaning and purpose as the day goes by in all different aspects of my life, whether it be in the relationships I'm having with my children or my wife, or whether it be the fact that I'm training for a half marathon, or whether it's going to the gym, or whether it's learning stories or responding to emails. I can find meaning and purpose, however small or big. I can find it everywhere I look.
We've done a job and it's all completed, and I look at it and go, yeah, we've done that. And other people then drive past and see what we've done, or they'll turn and say, oh, you know, I saw a new play area done. Was that one of yours? Yeah. And then I feel, yeah, chuffed. I've done that with the boys.
So in a positive future, I look forward to continuing with this journey of sobriety and of knowing how my mental health works and how I can manage it. Someone said to me early on in sobriety, I was going through something with a family member that was painful. And he said, you can see beauty in the grind here, the fact that you're able to turn up and be counted and do the things you need to do. The load doesn't get lighter, your back gets stronger. And I think the more I go on this journey of sobriety and mental health awareness, the more I realise I can cope with anything without needing to self-harm or put drink or drugs in my body. I just look forward to that. I wake up looking forward to every day. And that is such a turnaround from where I was 6 years ago. So that's what I look forward to.
Feeling that I've done well with the time I've spent here and the time that is to come. My daughter will give me a lot of sense of that, and that happens naturally now. It's not like there's anything I have to do. It's just her presence, knowing she's here is plenty. I look forward to spending that time with the family and people that I know has deserved and haven't had, and now we're at a place where we can, but there's still more to go. I look forward to that.
I look forward to people embracing and letting go of difference and of forgetting that actually there is anything that separates us as humans, whether that be class, race, geography, gender, whatever it is. I think for me, I see a unification.
Now it will be when I retire and become a member of Suffolk Mind team. It will be paying back to Suffolk Mind. It'll be that my goal.